allows current to flow in one direction, but it restricts it in the other. Well, this type of diode here is a Zener diode. This is a type of diode that allows current to flow in a reverse bias. So if we would apply power to this Zener diode in the forward bias, like how it is right now, if we would place, let's say, 20 volts on this end of the diode, we would see 20 volts come out on this other end of the diode. But now, if we would reverse the bias, and let's say we apply 20 volts DC onto this side of the diode, it's going to restrict voltage up to 12 volts. So anything after 12 volts, it would allow to pass. So if we put 20 volts onto this side of the diode, up to 12 volts, it's going to be restricted. After 12 volts, it will pass, and we should see 8 volts on the other side of the diode. So let's go ahead, set it up with our meter and our power supply, and let's see it. So the 789, I'm just using it to read my output voltage from my power supply, and right now it's outputting 20 volts DC. The 789 is the meter that I'm going to use to read my voltage and the Zener diode. So this lead here is going to be the power lead from my power supply. It's carrying the 20 volts. We place that 20 volts power lead to the forward bias of the diode. I'm going to take my other lead, this one from the Fluke 789, so I can measure the voltage passing through the Zener diode. And in forward bias, as you can see, we have 20 volts coming into the Zener diode, and we have 20 volts coming out. If you take the reading off of here, 20 volts, and the reading off of our measurement, 20 volts. 20 going in, 20 coming out in forward bias. Now we're going to flip our leads. So we're going to take our measurement lead and put it on this side and this one on this side. So now we're going to apply 20 volts DC to this side in reverse bias, and we're going to take our measurement on the outside. So now we have our leads changed. They're flipped to reverse bias, and we have 20 volts going into our Zener diode, and now we are going to see 8 volts on the outside. Again, we still have 20 volts DC from our power supply, and we apply that to the reverse bias of the diode, and as we take our reading, we now only have 8 volts coming out. So this is a 12 volt Zener diode, 20 going in, it restricts 12 volts and allows 8 volts to pass through on reverse bias. So only the voltage that overcomes 12 volts is allowed to pass through. If we would turn down our 20 volts DC down to 12, we're going to have nothing on this side. So let's go ahead and prove that theory. I'm going to turn down my power supply all the way down to 12 volts. So here we have 11.8 volts. As you can see, we now have no voltage coming out. Anything over 12 is allowed to go through. 12 and under, all restricted. So it's good to know about Zener diodes, because in case you run into one and you see it in reverse bias, you think that the diode is bad because a diode is supposed to restrict current or voltage in one direction. But then you see a Zener diode and it's got voltage in both directions, you might think that it's a bad diode, when just in the fact that it was a Zener diode. So if you've never heard about a Zener diode, you do now. Until next time, deuces.